Then we are shown hospital scene, where I got the answers to all the questions I once carried like stones in my chest, but not from you. From others. Fragments of truth scattered like broken glass, pieced together too late. How could I not know anything until now? I walked beside you, but it's as if I never saw the storm gathering behind your smile. He reaches out, gently takes Co Isul's hand. I shouldn't have let go of this hand, it was the lifeline I didn't know I needed. Back then, I dropped it like a thread I thought I could pick up later. But the wind took it, and I stood there with empty fingers. No, I wish I had found this hand sooner, before the world wore it down, before it trembled in silence. What should I tell you when you wake up? My thoughts are a tangled skein of regret and hope, threads knotted by years of silence. But one thing cuts through it all like a beam of light through fog. I am here now. Still, I ask myself, am I even worthy to speak? To ask, to hope. After everything, am I even qualified to stand by your side? Then we are shown the scene after some time, where Co Isul regained consciousness, and nursed softly, with a warm smile and said to Co Isul, the test results are good. You don't need to stay in the hospital. Be happy, patient. The baby, it's strong. So you need to take care of yourself too. She exits quietly. Co Isul said to himself, eyes wide with realization, I carried this life in silence, like a seed buried too deep to bloom. I turned my back on it. Denied it. But it waited, it lived. It survived even when I didn't know how to. Yu Sejun said to Co Isul, are you okay? Co Isul gently nods. Yes, I'm fine. He notices Yu Sejun's hand and reaches out, voice wavering. But, your hand, Sejun. You are bleeding. Yu Sejun's soft smile, brushing it off and said, it's just a scratch, a passing storm. The doctor stitched it up. It's already fading. Co Isul whispers, pain blooming in his voice, but I still see the red, like ink staining the pages of a story you never should have entered. If I hadn't met you, you wouldn't carry these scars. You wouldn't have been caught in the fire I lit. He swallows hard, eyes brimming and said, no, if I hadn't gone to him that day, none of this would have happened. The shattered pieces, they are mine. It's all my fault. Yu Sejun gently takes his hand, a quiet tether in the chaos. Yu Sejun said, what are you thinking right now? When you were asleep, my mind filled with questions like rain on a thin roof. Loud, endless. What kind of life have you been surviving all this time? Why didn't you trust me, depend on me? Was I too late to be your shelter? Why couldn't I find you sooner, before the shadows grew roots? The more I think about it, the more it feels like I failed you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the time I lost, time I should have spent carrying your pain with you. Co Isul shaking his head slowly. Don't say that. After pause Co Isul said to himself, before I met you, I lived like a candle burning from both ends, craving warmth from anyone who would offer it, even if it meant melting away. I thought love meant giving everything, even if it emptied me. I learned to love like my mother, trembling, afraid, and silent. But still, always loving. Because I believed something, that blood doesn't lie. That pain doesn't come without meaning. Yu Sejun softly said, Co Isul. Co Isul smiling faintly and said, but now, everything is different. You showed me a love that doesn't ask me to vanish to deserve it. You taught me that even broken things can be held gently and still be beautiful. I realized too late, there are people in this world who don't just love, they stay. Yu Sejun reaches out, gently touches his face, as if to memorize it, as if it were something sacred. Yu Sejun said to him, even if you forget me one day, even if your heart loses its way, I will still love you. I want to protect you, and your child. I want to build a world around you that no one can tear down. Will you let me? Co Isul pulls him in and kisses him, a soft, quiet promise. Co Isul smiling through tears, if that's the case, then I will give you my love 100 times over. Enough to drown the past. Enough to build us anew. Then Yu Sejun were told, the wind turned bitter, and winter came clawing in, flinging snow like white silence across the world. It was the kind of cold that creeps into your chest and stays there. My mother and father heard the story too, and their faces grew still, like trees listening to a storm from afar. They looked at me and said, "What kind of person is this, to leave someone out in that kind of weather, heartless and hollow?" Yu Sejun wrapped Seo Isul in the warmth of their words, like giving a lost bird a nest. For the first time, he felt the steady weight of belonging, not the heavy kind that burdens, but the kind that holds you when the world doesn't. Then Yu Sejun's mother, her anger coiled like a snake in her chest, hissed through clenched teeth, "I have to pluck out every single hair from that chili." Her words were fire, reckless and sharp, burning the air around him. Yu Sejun's father, ever the bridge between wildfire and silence, turned to her gently and said, "Darling, it's not kind when people call you chilly." His voice was a soft cloth against a splintered table, trying to smooth what could not be undone. And Yu Sejun watched as my father worked like a man rowing against a storm, trying to calm the waves in my mother's heart. His efforts were quiet, but they echoed. Then we are shown Yu Sejun and Seo Isul, as if the world had gently folded in on itself and revealed a softer version of their story. In this one, Yu Sejun's parents are on the phone, their voices like wind chimes swaying in worry. "Tell him he worked hard," his mother says, her voice almost a whisper of guilt. "Is he really okay?" But Yu Sejun, steady like a lighthouse in fog, says calmly, "Let's hear it from the person himself." Yu Sejun, holding the phone like it might carry warmth, says, "Hello." On the other end, his mother gasps, the sound of a door opening after a long winter. "Oh my god, it has been such a long time, Seo Isul. How are you?" His father's voice follows, deep and careful, like walking across ice. "Thankfully there is no serious problem, but Seo Isul, are you truly okay?" He laughs lightly, the kind of laugh that tries to hide the ache beneath. "Yes, really, I'm okay. I feel good, honestly. Sejun takes such good care of me, like sunlight through thick clouds." His father responds, shifting the concern back to his son. "Sejun, if something hurts, don't keep it locked inside. Go to the hospital, alright?" Seo Isul nods, his voice softer now. "Yes, Dad, thank you for caring." And Yu Sejun says, with that quiet gravity only he seems to carry, "Okay, Dad. Don't worry too much." Then his mother's voice returns, full of the careful love only mothers seem to carry in their bones. "What did the doctor say about your wound?" "It was nothing serious," Yu Sejun replies. "I was lucky, just needed the bandage changed. Nothing deeper than the surface." But in that moment, as if the thread holding everything together pulled too tight, Seo Isul clutches his stomach. Pain paints across his face like a sudden crack in porcelain. Without hesitation, Yu Sejun ends the call, no goodbyes, just a clean, quiet cut. Back on the other end, his father blinks into the silence and asks, "Seo Isul, what is wrong?" Yu Sejun's mother turns to her husband, brow drawn together like storm clouds. "Was it you who hung up?" Her husband shakes his head, surprise. "No, it was Yu Sejun." And just like that, silence settles between them, the kind that knows something is happening, even if no one has said it yet. Yu Sejun said, "What happened? Where does it hurt?" "Your stomach." Seo Isul said, "No, there's no pain." Seo Isul takes Sejun's hand and gently places it on his belly. Seo Isul said, "But I think I can feel him, like a soft ripple beneath the surface of still water." Yu Sejun said, "If we are still talking like this, maybe he is reaching out, wanting to be heard. Like a small echo bouncing in a quiet cave, waiting for someone to answer." Seo Isul said, "Do you think he knows?" Yu Sejun said, "He hears everything. Every whisper, every silence. Even the words we don't dare say out loud." Seo Isul said, "Then, he must have heard all of it. Everything I have said so far, meet." Seo Isul lowers his gaze, voice fragile. Seo Isul said, "I feel sorry for him. Like I have been handing him my fears, one by one, as if he were an empty jar meant to hold everything I couldn't carry." Yu Sejun said, "Mercy." Seo Isul said, "It's as if he is saying, I'm here. Please, just let me be seen. I have been beside you all this time, but why don't you notice me?" Seo Isyu said, I'm afraid that what I have said might have frightened him. That he will vanish like a dream slipping through fingers at dawn. Yoo Sejun said, no, he knows, Seo Isyu. He knows you are worried because you care. He feels the tremble in your voice as love, not rejection. He will understand. Yoo Sejun said, if you hadn't been born, I wouldn't be living like this. You changed my world the moment you arrived in it. Seo Isyu said, I still remember my mother's words, like old songs carried by the wind. He places his hand back on his belly, voice breaking slightly. Seo Isyu said, forgive me, my son. Your father is still learning how to be whole. I have been laying my shadows on you instead of light. Seo Isyu, I know it's too late to say it perfectly, but thank you. Thank you for coming to us. For choosing to be here. Yoo Sejun wraps his arms around Seo Isyu, holding him gently but firmly. Yoo Sejun said, Seo Isyu, we are already fathers. Yoo Sejun softly, smiling and said, that's enough now. Why is the father of our child crying like this?